morning, Zumpark.
Good morning, Zumpark. I'm Bex. That was Mark. We are GMZ.
GMZ.
Woo.
Yes.
Give me a G. Give me an M. Give me a Z. GMZ. Woo.
Wow, this is weird.
I actually did the hand gestures.
Did you? What,
you can't see them because this is a podcast, but yeah, I did the G and I did the M, and I don't know how you do a Z, but
no.
There we go.
It's good.
I look like I'm doing a walk like an Egyptian dance.
I never realised you had the American cheerleader inside you. I mean,
no, neither did I.
Yeah, it's shocking. What's going on? Is it because we're close to the Christmas? Is that why we're so happy? The Christmas has snuck up on you?
Well, yes, because it's like a week, isn't it, till Christmas? So Christmas has snuck up on me. I'm feeling festive. But no, I did my last university submission today.
Yay!
I'm finally finished, just waiting for the results. But, you know, I think I smashed it. It's fine.
Of course you smashed it. You're a genius. I taught you everything I knew.
About vascular disease.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for your input.
Long phone calls into the night describing all of my symptoms has really helped you.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
I really did not know about the funny thing on your penis.
No, the rash is going down. Thank you.
Cool. The cream helped.
The cream helps. Yeah, salad cream.
What?
It's Christmas. We have salad cream on everything. It's Christmas.
We come with salad cream on a willy.
Yeah. Anyway, it's nearly Christmas. This is our last episode before 2019. We're going to have a couple of weeks break, I assume, aren't we? And then we're going to get back to it next year. No doubt we'll have grand plans for next year. We'll probably decide we're going to take over the world again, and then by March decide
don't do it.
We haven't done that.
We have grand plans, don't we? But the grand plans usually come into fruition like 2 days before we're due to record. And it's like, do we have this person on? Yeah, let's have this person on.
Yeah, that's what tends to happen. And I always start out the year. I know we've only been doing this a couple of years, but every year I get to the beginning of the year and I'm like, right, this is going to be the year for GMZ. And we're gonna have thousands and thousands of followers, and everybody's gonna love what we're doing. And then after about 6 or 7 episodes, we go, do you know what? Let's just go back to what we was doing, which is not that much.
Nothing. To be fair, though, we had a pretty good year this year. You cannot deny that we had a pretty good year. You know, we've successfully managed to keep the podcast going through all of my meltdowns, and there's been many. Mm-hmm. You've had a couple of bereavements that haven't been pleasant, and you know, you got a lot to be proud of. We've done GMZ Live. We did Weekend of the Dead again. You got a book out.
We got very, very drunk and embarrassed ourselves. And we survived that.
What do you mean we?
Well, when I say we, it's the royal we. I mean me and you by association.
I didn't embarrass myself. You were the one that dropped that one-of-a-kind thing on the floor and broke it.
That is true. But you was there with me and therefore part of the association of GMZ. So we've managed to keep things going a little bit longer. So that's good. I think that's an achievement. I'm sure there'll be more stuff that we can achieve next year, which would be nice. We've still got Secret Santa. Haven't we?
We do.
Secret Santa next year. Not next year, next week. Yeah, next week. And
Is that the 23rd we're doing that?
I think so, yeah. So I've sent mine, but I haven't received mine yet. So I'm hoping to receive mine soon. And then we're all going to have a mass opening on the 23rd in the Facebook group. So that'll be
kind of hoping that it's not Mark Nye? I'm really feeling very sorry for the person that's got Mark Nye.
I know it's not Mark Nye. I know it's not, because he sent me a picture of his packaging to ask me if that would be suitable to go through the post. And I said, you might want to put... Yes, basically. I said, you might want to put a note on it to explain what it is. But in case...
So you're not sending like a kidney through the post
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So I suggested to do that. So I know that hasn't arrived at my house, so I know it's not Mark Nye. And obviously he wouldn't have sent it to me if that was the case. So I know it's not him. But there must be... so I don't know who it is. But I'm sure whoever gets me something will get me something embarrassing. I'm hoping that what I might be able to do is to take it on the 23rd, if I go to like a family function or something, I'm hoping to get all the family round, the kids, the nans, the granddads, and then I'll open it in front of everybody. So if it's really embarrassing, it will just be really awkward and cringy. I'm
You love an awkward moment, though.
Yeah, it'd be great. I'm really looking forward to that.
If it's like a diamante butt plug or something,
yeah,
I love that.
And then I've got to explain it to the small children and to the old ladies, and then we can all have a good laugh about, oh, what a butt plug that is.
Oh, mine's bigger though.
It's like good old Christmas banter, So I'm looking forward to that.
How do you use that then? Can we have a demonstration?
My family's not like that, Bex. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, mine is.
Oh, right. So, what are we doing this week, Rebecca?
We are talking to a very successful and a very nice author who we love dearly. We're talking to Suzanne Sussex.
Whose name I can never pronounce. Suzanne Sussex. I did it correctly.
It's not hard.
It isn't hard, but when
stop calling me Rebecca.
Rebecca. Yeah, Suzanne Sussex. Yeah, I can do it. I can do this. I can do it. Don't
say it too many times. If you say it too many times, she'll appear in your bedroom at night.
She appears in my bedroom all the time, baby.
Oh,
yeah.
Ask her about that.
Only in my head. So what I'll do is we'll give her a ring, see if she's there, and we'll have a little chat about see what she's up to. Yeah.
I hope she's there. Otherwise, we're fucked.
Right. Let's give her a ring. Right, so now we have with us the wonderful Suzanne Sussex. Yay!
Yay! That was my clap.
Hello, Suzanne.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
I'm very well, thank you. How are you both?
Yeah, we're good. This is perfectly live, just as it's meant to be, on the night, live, promise.
Yes, no rehearsals.
Yes, we have not had to record this about 75 times.
Well, at least we're all well practiced at what we're supposed to be doing. Although we've probably all forgotten what we were supposed to be doing.
Yeah, this could actually be worse than the original one.
So, Suzanne, we last spoke to you, a year ago? Was it a year? Something like that?
It was, just over a year ago, I think, in November.
Okay. And just in case any of our listeners can't remember, why was you on last time? Because you wrote a trilogy called Safe Zone, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah. No, I think it was just after the release of the third book in the trilogy.
Okay. And where are we up to today? Have we got more books out? Have you got more coming out?
So it's been a bit of a strange year for writing, but I did publish the fourth book in the trilogy, which is a bit of an oxymoron. Yep. But the prequel to Safe Zone was published at the beginning of November.
Right. Okay, so that's pretty recent then. So what is the prequel called?
So the prequel is called Safe Zone Origins, and it's set before the outbreak.
Is there any particular reason that you went back to before the beginning?
Yeah, so there's a few questions that some people that reviewed it on Amazon were having about where did the virus come from, who started the virus. There is without giving spoilers away for those not read the trilogy, there is a serum they find, shall we say, that has that relates to the virus, who asked for that to be created. So there was a few questions, and fair questions, so I thought, you know what, I don't know the answer to those questions, so I'd like to know too. So hence Origins came about.
So did you have to go out and do some research on viruses and mass production of stuff that makes people ill, or did you just kind of wing it?
I did quite a lot of research actually on the sciencey side of it. So I wanted a realistic virus as much as it possibly could be. And I say research, I can't pretend I'm sat in a library reading massive great books. Google was very useful, as was another author called Adrienne Lecter, who has a bit of a science background. So I had a concept of how I wanted the virus to have been created, and she just corrected me a little bit on the science, although obviously the whole thing needs correcting because we have no zombies yet, and I'm pretty sure if you were to use my formula that wouldn't create a zombie, but who knows.
No, I mean, yes, but you have to have some kind of degree in cell biology, which Google's not going to give you.
Yes.
So, I mean, obviously you get the level of authenticity by doing the research and speaking to experts, but like you said, it can't be 100% authentic because we have no real actual zombie virus. But I mean,
that you know of.
That I know of yet. But I mean, what type of pointers did she give you? Without again giving away too many spoilers, what type of sort of scientific pointers did she give you?
So I used a few scientific words, and she just made sure I was using them in the correct tense.
Yeah.
And things like the lab that they were operating in. I've never worked in a sterile environment, and so she just set me right on a few things that actually can be quite real, because we had to have scientists working in sterile environments. So she made sure that was a little bit more realistic than I'd originally created it. So if she ever listens to this, a big thank you to Adrienne, because she really, really helped in that first part of the book.
Okay, so since we're plugging Adrienne as well, what is her book? What has she wrote? What books has she wrote? Do you remember? Don't remember, do we?
Yes. Don't remember.
We're going to have to cut this out.
I'm going to have to cut that bit out.
It's the Greenfield series, isn't it, Adrienne?
I couldn't remember. That's why I asked you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Greenfields.
This is like asking for adjectives all over again. This.
I know. I'm just in the mood for putting people on the spot.
Thanks.
No, you're welcome. Next question, Suzanne. I have another question for you. We was talking to Claire Riley when we was talking about her series, and I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to maps. I like when I follow a character around a certain area, I like to know where they're going, and I may even draw a map. And obviously, if I'm writing a story, I will draw a map. And Claire says she does something similar. Is this something that you do?
No.
Well, that solves that.
Skills are immensely poor. I do spend a fair bit of time on the first books. I spent a fair bit of time on Google Maps.
Yeah.
Because that's set in and around Oxford, and I've visited there, but not hugely.
Yeah.
And I use quite a bit of artistic license in the villages, etc.
Sure.
The latest book, a lot of it is set in London.
Yep.
And I used to work in London, so I'm quite familiar with it.
Yep.
But I did just check the accuracy of things like whether they get off the tube station to get to certain buildings, making sure they're going to a sensible tube station rather than one halfway across the other side of London.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be me. I'd just make it up.
Yeah, I mean,
this is why I'm not a writer. I've got no attention to detail.
One of the things that really bugs me is the movie 28 Weeks Later, and that's set in and around East London and Central London, and they seem to skip between the two on foot fairly regularly, and that really, really bugs me because that's impossible.
That's because the Americans ruined it.
Yeah. Suzanne, I have another question about your writing. I can't remember from our last conversation, but are you a wing it type of, fly by the seat of your pants kind of, or are you a planner? I mean, I'm a planner because
I would love to be a planner, but I'm just not.
Yeah.
So there's benefits of not being a planner. It means I just get straight down to it.
Yeah.
But I do spend the entire time I'm writing a book or a story living in fear that I won't have an ending.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice.
I feel though you have to be super talented to be able to just wing a whole book. So I mean, how many words are your novels normally? About 80,000, did you say?
Yeah, ranging between 80 and 90.
So for you to kind of just sit down and wing 80,000 words is such a skill. I actually can't fathom that in my head.
With me, it probably starts off, the first draft is around about 65,000. I have quite a lot of content. Going through the next drafts. So I get the bare bones of the story out, and then I fill in the detail, if you like.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some bonuses to wing it. I mean, you get to experience the journey of your characters as your characters experience them. You can steer them in a certain direction. But I mean, I guess the major drawback is, like you said, you could miss major. I mean, what if you get to 80,000 words and you're still 100,000 words away from an ending? That would blow my brain.
then you write another book.
Yeah, and you write another book. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Well, so that's my problem. Yeah.
So it's never been like that. I've always had an ending at a relatively sensible point. With Origins, I was a little worried that I was going to end up ending it way too early.
Yeah.
And have a really short book.
It'd be a novella,
it worked out in the end.
Yeah, I mean, but I guess, the thing with a prequel, it doesn't really matter if it is novella size. It doesn't have to be full novel size sometimes with a prequel. Sometimes people just want those gaps filled in. So, zombies. Obviously, you started with zombies. Are we continuing with zombies, or are we branching out? Everybody else seems to be branching out into demons and spaceships.
Yeah, demons and dystopian and space warriors.
Yeah.
I have started a dystopian. However, that's been on hold for about a year now. And one day I'll get back to it. I'm sticking with zombies for the time being. So, but not in Safe Zone series. At the moment, I'm moving away from that to look at a young adult type story. So hopefully mass market appeal to normal, adults, but also available to the young adult market, because I think there's potentially opportunity gap for the sort of book I'm writing.
So I'm guessing it's kind of, is it like a pre-teen audience or a teen audience?
Sort of like late teen, sort of like the 15 onwards audience.
Yeah, which means 12-year-olds would definitely read it.
Yeah, and 35-year-olds would definitely read it, because when I was 35,
yeah,
not now, but when I was reading a lot of young adult, and in fact I still do read a fair bit of young adult when I can.
Yeah, so do
I quite like young adult books, because I don't know if this is going to sound really awful, but they're a bit more simpler to read. I feel like you can read them quicker, and I can get a lot more books in. Whereas I'm reading Ricky Fleet's new one at the moment, and it's absolutely brilliant, but it's hurting my brain sometimes. I'm having to really concentrate on it, and sometimes I just need something that I can pick up and just read really quickly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I read as an escape from reality. I need to be able to read without thinking.
Yeah, same.
And I think sometimes that, young adults novels, they have to have a certain pace. You have to have certain types of characters. I mean, a teen audience expects a certain amount of romance and a certain amount of drama. So it must be slightly different to what you're used to doing, which is normally sort of very character-driven. Well, I guess teen stuff is still character-driven, but you have a lot more romantic entanglements. But it must be kind of a different field for you. Does it feel unusual writing that?
No. It feels quite natural.
Yep.
It's been told at the moment, I'm writing it in first person point of view, and I say at the moment because when I started writing Safe Zone, I kept flipping between what point of view I was going to write it in.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But at the moment it feels to be working. The danger I have is I'm clearly not my target market.
Yep.
So I need to make sure that whilst I think I'm being hip and cool, I'm not just being an old woman.
I mean, sometimes the danger you have with the young adult market is they're not particularly well read. Obviously, they haven't read hundreds and hundreds of novels, so they do have a tendency at that age to compare it to Twilight or Harry Potter or so you have to be really careful not to have a Hermione or those type of characters in it, because teenagers jump straight to conclusions. So are you aware of that as you're doing it?
I'm aware of certain pitfalls not to fall into. Like, I need to avoid love triangles because it's so overdone in the young adult.
Yeah.
I need to, character-wise, because of the type I'm writing, the story I'm writing, I'm not too worried about coming up with a cliche. It's already been done to death in the market.
Yeah.
But I do need to make sure I'm toning down any romantic scenes, etc.
Yeah,
no swearing.
Yes, no swearing.
I think with young adult you can go as far as kissing, and that's about it, isn't it? I mean, that's kind of the from my memory with a young adult book.
Yeah.
That's the climactic point is where characters kiss.
Yeah. And I think I'll be, I think I can push the boundaries a little bit, because at the end of the day, whilst obviously I have a publisher, it's still an independent, still indie rather than traditional publishing, where they hard and fast rules and you can't break them. Whereas let's face it, 15 and 16-year-olds know what sex is. You can't. You're not going to shock them. So and my character's not going to be a 15 or 16-year-old, because it just wouldn't work for the story. So she's going to be a little bit older. 18, 17, probably 18 for it to work. So it's not really going to be young adult in the traditional sense, but also it's going to be set quite young.
Well, it sounds exciting. It sounds like something that's got you excited in terms of a new project. Is it going to be a new series? Is it just a new book?
My plan is it's going to be a series. I don't know how many books. Probably not an open-ended one. I probably will want to close it off so I can get onto a different series at some point. But I'm not aiming for a trilogy at the moment. Okay.
All right. So apart from this new exciting young adult series that you've got coming, is there anything else you've got in the pipeline, or is this where all your focus is on at the moment?
This is where all my focus is on at the moment. I've got a lot going on in the normal life.
In the other life, yeah.
In the next 7 months. So, I need to focus on writing more than I have been recently, but also other stuff.
Well, I mean, Bex and I were talking about you the other day, and we were saying it's amazing.
All good things.
All good things, and we're saying it's amazing how far you've come. You've literally started writing about the same time we started this podcast, and you've brought out four books in that time, and you've become established within the community, which is really important. I think it's an incredible achievement. Do you feel a sense of achievement? I know in your real life you're quite successful, but I mean, do you feel a sense of achievement from the writing?
I feel a sense of pride from the writing.
Yeah.
And I started the first book, and the reason I finished it was to prove to myself that I could.
Mm-hmm.
So from going from that to actually writing and finishing 4 books I haven't got children, but my life is quite busy. I've got a full-time job and I've got some very time-consuming hobbies outside of writing. So to be able to have achieved all that in the last couple of years, I am really proud of.
Yeah.
But obviously, you're never quite satisfied, are you? So,
no, you're a perfectionist, though, aren't you? Because I remember when talking to you at GMZ Live, and you was like, "I want an audio book. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want the next thing." You're chasing down the dream, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, to an extent, I'm never expecting to become a famous author. I doubt I'd ever get a traditional publishing deal because of the types of books I like to write. And yeah, I'm not even entirely sure I'd want the Safe Zone series itself to be put on TV.
Yeah.
But
we had this chat, didn't we, about TV? Because I actually don't think a lot of the indie publishers, I don't think their stuff, number one, would work on TV. And I think number two, they'd ruin it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, if someone came over and offered me a load of money.
Yeah.
I'd have to think about it.
Yeah.
But it would, particularly with the first book in the Safe Zone series, it's very much it's more about the emotions than it is about the zombies.
Yeah.
And it's hard to portray that on the screen, isn't it, really?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Unless it was obviously a big Hollywood blockbuster type movie, but
yeah, I mean that is the issue, isn't it? I mean, I'm working with someone now who's trying to get their indie book, made onto the screen, and the amount of budgets you have to work with tiny little budgets to get these things made, you don't do it full justice. I mean, I would love to see, we were talking about Ricky Fleet, I'd love to see Hellspawn into a TV series, but I know unless you had a multi-million pound budget, it's never going to work,
No.
Yeah, particularly with zombies, where you need really good special effects for it to not cheesy.
Yeah, agreed, totally agreed. So, obviously you've got lots of plans for 2019. Obviously you've got this new book coming out. How is Origin selling? Is it selling well?
I have absolutely no idea.
Oh, good.
I mean, the last time I looked, it was about ranked 300 in its category on Amazon, but I don't actually see the sales figures until a couple of months later. So I have no idea. But if anyone is listening that has read it, if you could leave a review, that would be amazing, because I've only got 3 reviews, which is very sad.
Do you know what? Your other books, though, the rest of your books, because I looked at your reviews the other day, I was trying to find a bad one. Right, not to embarrass you, but just to see if there was a negative one. There isn't one. I think the lowest review you've got on any of your books is a 3-star, and even in the description of the review is quite nice.
Yeah, go on to Amazon.com.
Oh, right, okay. I was looking at .co.uk. So the British people love you, but the rest of the world doesn't, not so much.
I think it was it was 1 or 2 star. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, I didn't look at those, but I mean, you're very highly reviewed on Amazon, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm really, really chuffed with my reviews.
Yeah, you should be.
You should be proud.
Yeah. I mean, I've worked really hard on doing a book, and then I've got some really shit reviews, and then it is quite demoralising. So, I mean, it's a massive achievement to get mainly 5-star reviews, so well done. So, are we going to see you at GMZ Live next year?
That's the plan.
Yeah, excellent.
The only thing that would stop us is my other half's running across the Scotland the week before.
Just have to run a bit further south.
Yeah.
Well, if he hurts himself, it might scupper our plans, but I fully intend to be there.
Wrap him up in cotton wool or something, some bubble wrap. He'll be all right.
Massage before and hand.
Tell him the cocktails make everything numb anyway. Bex was numb for a week.
Oh yeah, I really was.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you for coming on to our podcast.
Yes, thank you for having me again.
Oh, you're very welcome.
We'll speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Right, that was Suzanne Sussex.
It was.
The audio quality was not great on the interview, and I do apologise. The internet connection was really good. I don't know if really bad. I don't know if it was yours, mine.
Only a bad workman blames his tools.
Oh, fuck off. So anyway, hopefully I can edit it together to make it seem like some type of interview. If not, I'll just edit it together and make it sound really funny. So that'll be.
We are funny. You don't need to edit it. We are naturally hilarious.
No, but if I can't make sense of the conversation, then I'll just make Suzanne say really funny things the whole time. Because
I'm sure she'd appreciate that.
She would, of course. It's all good advertising, isn't it? Let's say all press is good press. That's the way I look at it. But Suzanne Sussex has supported GMZ since the very, 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 very beginning, pre-GMZ.
Literally the beginning.
So we wish her the very best with her
And she's amazing.
career.
She's so much fun.
She's
such a lovely lady.
And she's right on the pulse of the British zombie thing, which I think the British zombie thing is on the rise. You know, this character driven, not all guns blazing, not gung ho, not gangs of soldiers. You know, this character driven reality drama rather than just a zombie story. And I think that stuff's on the rise, and she's right on the cusp of that, along with a few of the others. Like Claire, we were talking to the other week, on this, this character driven story stuff. So we like it. We like it. Yeah, I think that's what it's all about. Personally, I think it's about reality and connecting to society and reflecting society and stuff like that. Are we becoming an intellectual podcast? Is that what we're doing?
Don't know. Maybe. No. Who knows?
Obviously not.
I've had too much brain intelligence today. It's all leaked out my ears now.
Okay, then obviously it's not an intellectual podcast. So that's the last podcast of the year. Thank you very much. It is.
Thank you for listening, everybody. We really appreciate all your support.
We do. We really appreciate everything that you do.
And we're not horrible people.
We're not. Despite the rumours to the contrary that we may be horrible people, we are actually
I am the nicest fucking person you'll ever meet.
Yeah. Do you know what? I've only met Bex a handful of times, and she really is the nicest person you could ever possibly meet. I, on the other hand, am a complete arsehole. Yes.
Yeah, he really is. Unless you get him drunk, and then he's hilarious.
Yeah, that seems to be where I'm at my best. That's my peak.
Yeah. We'll just keep you drunk. Every time you meet people, you just need to be drunk.
I do. But yeah, we're actually not terrible people, despite the stories to the contrary. And we're not a political podcast, despite some of those comments to the contrary.
Yeah, where did that come from?
A long story.
We just talk shit on the internet and interview people, guys.
Yeah,
that's all we do.
That's all we do. So yeah, thank you very much for everybody who listens. Thank you for everybody who supports the group. So thank you for everybody who supports the Facebook page, who comes to the live events, who sees us at all of the things that we do. It's been a wonderful 2018. It's been a real roller coaster ride for both me and Bex. We've had an emotional year. Some of it's been awful. Some of it's been incredible. And we can't thank you guys enough for being there with us all the way through it. So thank you very much.
So let's fuck off 2018 and here to 2019, yeah?
Indeed, to 2019 and GMZ Live 2.
Ooh, GMZ.
Yeah. Right, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.